everybody who's joined us today. Welcome. C. Erickson, I don't believe you've been here before, from Kentucky. Welcome. Cheryl's here from Texas. Laura's here. And Jan is here. Allô, mes amis. Bonjour, Jean. Comment allez-vous? Eh, bon, bon. So we'll just give everybody else a few seconds here to come on. We'll see who's going to join us today. I trust everybody can see and hear us okay. And I don't know, I was looking at you for excitement. Well, that was a mistake. What are we having for dinner tonight? Randy's here. Hi, Randy.
Hi, Randy.
From Florida. Lynn's here. Hi, Lynn. We still have those stuffed peppers. They've been in there forever.
No, they were one I made. I made them earlier this week.
Yeah. Do stuffed peppers rot? Possibly. We find out.
These are old shirts.
Oh.
I still haven't finished the new ones yet.
No, he hasn't got those done yet either. So
I thought of working on them today.
Oh,
that's about all I did.
Donna's here from Maryland. Yep, we've got you on the books, Donna. We're looking forward to the interview as well. Hi, Eddie. Eddie is here. And Laura says, got my volume all the way up, but the sound's a bit quiet today. That's weird. Let me check the microphone settings. Yeti left. They're on full. I mean, I can turn up the gain a little bit on the microphone, but that might distort things. How's that sounding, Laura? Is that any better? Hi, Pamela. And hello, Laura number 2 from Austin, or Laura Austin from Minnesota. Yeah, she's from Minnesota, don't you know? And everything. So, hi, Barb. Well, it's about 2 feet away from us, Laura. Anybody else having a problem? Cheryl says it's fine on her end. It's just you, Laura. It's better. Okay, well, I turned up the gain on the microphones a little bit, but you got to be careful with that because sometimes it can distort it. But C. Erickson says that's better as well. Nancy can hear it's fine. So, okay, that's good. Okay, so you were having trouble before, were you? So I guess it was the gain. So, okay. Actually, what I can do is I can hear ourselves and see what it sounds like as well. Because sometimes it can distort it, but C. Erickson says that's better as well. Nancy sounds okay to me. Fine. So, okay, that's good. Okay, so you were having trouble before. Okay, so that's good to know. And it's clear on Donna's end. Okay, all right, good. So everybody can hear us and see us. So let's start. So Walter's working on his shirts. His shirts from for Eternal Shirts.
I didn't do anything on them this week. I should start. I was going to start today, but
yeah, it's just in time for the cooler weather.
Yeah, I know.
And a short sleeve. Well, okay, fine. That's all you've been doing. Okay. Well, not even doing that. I don't know what you do. You stare at a computer screen all day. Well. But you did that when you were working.
Yeah, I know.
And you do it now. Okay, whatever. Laura says no distortion at all. Okay, that's good. Well, I've been working on my, what are you looking at?
Oh, what have you been working on?
Well, I took it down because it's too big now because I added more to it. I've been working on the block of the month. I had a class on, I have a picture of it. I'm going to show it in a minute. I have a class. It's a Zoom class with Donna, the hostess with the mostess from Ultimate Sewing. And I've been doing this class for 7 months. And this month, we got the next instructions, of course. But this time it's telling us to put all the pieces together with a few additional ones we're making. So I'm thinking, oh, we're getting close to the end. And Donna, when I said that to her, she just laughed. She says, who knew? We have 3 more months. And I'm thinking, holy crap, how much more is on this quilt? So I'll show you what it looks like right now. But it's still got 3 months to go. So let me switch over so you can see it. Where's my cursor? There's my cursor. Okay, so this is what it's looking like right now. It's called Lakeside. It is, like I said, a block of the month quilt. I mean, I'm really happy with it right now, but my God, there's a lot of pieces in it so far. You don't really realize it when you're working on one section each month, kind of a thing, how many pieces there are in it. But there are a lot. In fact, I haven't finished the 7th month yet. There's another border that goes on beyond that purpley colored border, which I have all cut. I just have to sew it on, but I didn't get to it this afternoon. And to be honest, I was really getting tired of this because you look at all the intersections that are on this quilt. And I match up all my intersections and I clip them. And it gets confusing because of the colors that I'm using. You got to be really careful that you lay out the pieces in the right manner. It's easy to flip something around, and I've done that a couple of times and had to rip it out and turn it around. Walter's studying it very carefully now.
Yeah,
He's
yeah.
looking for a mistake. Well, you just look. You just look. And you want to know something? If there is a mistake in here, who's going to notice it? Because it's one heck of a busy quilt. I have discovered, though, from this quilt, one thing I do not like doing, and I had to do this in another quilt that I just finished up, the gnome quilt, the Christmas gnome quilt. There's what they call piping. Some people would call it flanging. It's not really piping per se because it doesn't have anything stuffed in it, you know, like a cord or something. So it's more of a flange, but that little green one that's right in here, just very thin line, that's what they're calling a piping strip. And I don't like doing those. They can go really crooked really fast.
I did that on a shirt earlier last year, and it's a nuisance.
Now it does like set it off kind of nicely with that thin strip there, but you know, you got to baste them down first, then you put the pieces that are on the outside of that go on top of it. And it's really easy for your basting stitches to show through. And I sewed the basting stitches about 1/8 of an inch away from the raw edge. That way I didn't have to really pull them out. And they're hidden underneath. In fact, I asked Donna about that, and she said, oh yeah, that's what she does too. Because pulling out the basting stitches, although they're, you know, big stitches, it's still a pain in the butt. And I did have a few of them peek up under that, but it was easy for me to cut them and pull them out. But yeah, I'm not a fan of basting or of piping strips or whatever what they're calling it. So anyways, but I did it. I have a feeling, I haven't looked at the quilt, the first page of the quilt to see the finished product. I have a feeling that we have mitered corners on this, which is not bad because I'm sure Donna will show us how to do it the proper way. So yeah, you learn. That's how you learn. But anyways, that's what I've been busy at. And once I get these last borders on for this month, then I can start the other block of the month quilt that I'm going to do. Now, I don't have any pictures of that because I haven't started yet, but it's applique. And well, that's why I took the class. Actually, it looks like it's pretty easy applique, at least the first block of it, the center block. So what are people saying here? Get rid of that. Barb says Walter has lost his sojo. Yeah, probably. Nancy wants to know, do you make long sleeve shirts now, Stephen? I don't.
I'll make them.
Walter,
I have made a couple.
Yeah.
I don't like them as much as I don't like making them as much as short sleeve shirts because they're a fair bit more work.
And
But
oops, I've got the wrong screen on here. There we go. We're back. Yeah, there you made me one last year. I've never worn it yet. Well, you didn't, you made it, you finished it in the warm season.
yeah.
Yeah, that's why. So when
There
it
you
gets
go.
cooler, now I have a long sleeve shirt I can wear. Yeah. I need more than one though.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. Nancy says, do you I'm sorry, Walter. I don't know. The light blue really frames it beautifully. Yeah, it's got a lot of colors in it, Eddie. It's a little wild. It's a little wild, but you know, that's sort of my style. Hi, Em. Did we miss anybody else that came on here? Nancy, did we say hello to Nancy? I think we said hello to Barb. Green Quilts Galore. We didn't say hello to you, but hello, Green Quilts Galore. Just catching up here. Laura says, Greed. The light blue frames it well. Love the light blue borders. Stunning. Hi, Marlene. We call them zingers.
I think those border things that you're talking about.
Oh, is that what they are? They're zingers because in the pattern they actually call them piping. They call them piping strip. That's what they call them.
Well, actually, that piping I did on the shirt is like what you would call a flange. It's not actually piping.
Yeah, I would call it a flange.
No, yeah, I know, but they call it piping. Some people call it piping.
Because piping usually has a cord in it.
Yeah,
so it's round.
It can have a cord.
Yeah.
In it, but it doesn't have to.
Well, I guess not, but whatever. So, hi, Jackie. So yeah, that's what I've been up to and other things. And I've got a third class. Tomorrow's an in-person class, and that's the One Block Wonder panel, which I showed that, like I showed the pattern. I haven't done it yet. Tomorrow, I guess we're going to be cutting the panels. And I ordered 2 additional panels from a place 2 weeks ago, possibly more than 2 weeks ago. I'll have to look at my records. I think it was September the 5th when I placed the order. September the 5th to September the 4th. And to a place out west in Alberta called Sugar Pine Quilts or something like this. And I had to send them an email. They were saying they'd get everything out really promptly. 4 days after I ordered it, it still said pending. So I wrote them an email and said, so it says pending. When are you going to ship it? Kind of a thing. And he said, oh yeah, we're shipping it today. Well, that was over a week ago or so. Haven't seen it yet.
Well, mind you, it can take a week from wherever it comes.
Yeah. So if I don't see it by the middle of next week, then I will be contacting them. And, you know, I don't know. They'll blame it on the mail service.
Yeah.
But what makes me suspicious is when they waited 4 days to send it.
Yeah, I know.
Kind of.
And then suddenly said, we sent it today. And you know how it sometimes they sending it may mean that they've made the label and it's still sitting there. Yeah.
Yeah, so I don't know. I don't know if anybody on here has ever dealt with this company, the Sugar Pine. I think it's Sugar Pine Quilting is what the name of it.
Aren't they in Canmore?
Is that Alberta?
Yeah, that's down by Banff.
That could be. I'm not really completely sure. I'm just going to look here at my orders. Sugar Pine Quilting. I placed the order on September the 4th. So this is September the 18th. So that's 14. Well, that's 2 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
So I suppose I should give them the benefit of the doubt, I guess. Luckily, I don't need them right now. I got them as spares for this class, just in case I cut something wrong, because there's a lot of cutting involved. You looking this up?
Mm-hmm.
Well, just looking it up.
Yeah, Canmore, Alberta.
Okay. What is it about Canmore, Alberta that makes things slow? What do you have to do? Get across the mountains? What's going on?
Yeah, it's right near Banff.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well, it's not like it's coming by covered wagon.
Who knows?
So I don't know. But anyways, we'll see.
Maybe things don't move too fast out there.
I guess so. Hi, Mozilla. Piping is for icing
cake.
Yeah,
man, there won't be mail delivery tomorrow, probably.
Oh, no, probably not, because Queen's dad's funeral tomorrow. Hi, Wendy. Oh, she's in Wisconsin on vacation. Well, that's nice. Hi, Lily. Only went in Sugar Pine once in Banff, I believe. So, Mozilla, you've been there. Okay.
No, it says it's near Banff. It says it's in Canmore, so.
Yeah, Barb, of course there won't be mail delivery tomorrow. Nope. Yeah, Nancy, it is. In this day and age, you know, I know things happen. But it just seemed funny that I waited 5 days and saw that it still said pending. I sent them an email, and within an hour, I got an email back from them saying, yep, we just packed it up and just shipped it out today. Makes me a little Did
they put the right address on?
I don't know. Well, we've had things go to Mississauga instead of out here to Oshawa, and there is our address. a street.
Yeah, there's a street in Oshawa that's the same name as ours. There's a street in Mississauga that has the same name as our street, but the numbers are all different, and of course, postal code is different.
And
people
can't read.
Yeah, I know. I've had it where I've been tracking a package and it ends up in the sorting department in Mississauga, and then all of a sudden it'll say out for delivery, and it's out for delivery in Mississauga.
Yeah.
So then when they can't find my address or our number, it ends up back at the post office that night, and then it gets rerouted again.
Well, it's a good chance that this thing is locked up in Mississauga, because that's the black hole of postal delivery in there. We've had many things go in there and just disappear. So that could be a possibility. But the other thing, I don't like it when a company doesn't have a tracking number.
Yeah, I know.
Now, it is more expensive for them to ship to get a tracking number. But that helps. And, depending on how much more they're going to charge when they put a tracking number on it, I don't actually mind paying the little extra for tracking number, because it's a little bit of peace of mind, when you get the tracking number and you can sort of see where it's going to. It can also be very frustrating, because sometimes you see it going to weird places. Like, why would you be going
actually,
that
the package probably went to Calgary first, and I have seen packages sit around in Calgary for a while.
Yeah, and actually, Calgary is another black hole of Calcutta when it comes to postal delivery. Things seem to, it's sort of like Mississauga is here. So I don't know. Oh yeah, Randy, they took the money immediately. Of course they do, because you do it all on your credit card, so instantly it goes through. Yeah, they don't have any problem taking the money real quick about it. So Moss Zella says she was there years ago. She was a nice shop back then. And Canmore is the start of the mountains, Marlene says. Yeah. I think we must have been there when we drove way back.
Yeah, we drove through there, but actually when we had planned our trip a couple of years ago, we were going to go there in Canmore. That's because I couldn't find accommodation in Banff.
Yeah, and then COVID hit. Yeah, we didn't go anywhere. Well, we'll see what happens. Like I said, it's not like I am desperate for it. It was a backup, and I ordered from them because the panels that I ordered, they're called Murfairy. You can't get them anywhere. It figures. I ordered them from that place K&A's quilting studio, which is in Ingersoll, and you saw that on the video that we made of our trip, our fabric haul trip to London. Really, really nice place, store, huge. So I ordered from them and I wiped them out. I needed 7 panels, and that's all they had of it were 7, so I got them all. But then I thought, if I blow the cutting on one of these, I need another. So I thought I'll go do a search. Well, I could have got it from a few places in the States, a couple places, but if I can get it in Canada, I'll go with Canadian, because you never know what's going to come across the border, if it gets across the border. So I only really found one place. And, well, I saw it on an Etsy shop, but they wanted like an astronomical amount of money. Like, this is a panel, $17, $18 a panel. That's the going price. There were places I saw one at $35 for one panel. So I thought, no, not doing that. And this place had a reasonable price. Even as it stands, I ordered 2 panels with shipping and tax. It's still $60. It's costed me for these 2 panels. Considering that I bought 7 panels with shipping and tax from K&A, and it cost me about $110. So, yeah, okay. But, I was kind of like, well, bite the bullet, because knowing me, I might make a mistake. And I don't want to make a mistake. So, well, we'll see what happens. Maybe they'll be on the doorstep tomorrow. No, they won't, because there's no mail service tomorrow, so that's not going to happen. Laura says Calgary and Mississauga are the provincial distribution centers for Canada Post for their provinces. So yes, its items will sit for a while before they move forward. Yeah, I knew that, Laura. And Donna says, hello, everyone. Just got home. Well, Donna, glad you got home in time for us. So, hi, Donna. Okay, well, anyways, that's what I've been up to. So yesterday we finally did our interview at Kawartha Quilting in Bethany, Ontario, about 40 minutes slightly north of us. And you've heard me talk about it before, and we've been anticipating doing this interview for quite a while, but of course, life happened. But we finally got in there, and so I've done a whole video. It was a great interview with Zach, and I thought the other lady who's a regular in the store, like it's a family-owned business, when we're interviewing them, found out that actually the lady that I thought was Zach's sister is not. It's his mother, and she and her husband, his father and mother, they own the store. Philippa and Eric, really nice people. So it was a good interview, I think. Walter was the cameraman, and he did a pretty good job of that. Given I had to cut out a few things, like no one needed to see my rear end going upstairs. You did that on purpose.
Of course.
Yeah, of course you did.
I was actually focusing on the dog at the top of the stairs.
Funny, because my rear end would happen to be in the way of that.
Well,
so I don't know. But anyway, so that's going to go up next Friday. It's going to be an episode of So Chatty. That'll be next week's episode of So Chatty, actually. And it was a good interview, and we learned a lot from them. And I'm telling you, they're an official Bernina sales center, for Bernina machines. Distributor, that's the word I was looking for. Yes, well, thank you for that.
You're welcome.
Thank you for correcting me, as usual. Anyways, but I'm telling you, after they were talking about the Bernina machines there when we did the interview and that, I keep thinking I might drink the Kool-Aid and go for Bernina at some point in time. But, a top of the line Bernina is about a lot of money. Of course, I don't think I wouldn't get an embroidery part with it. So you can get lower end ones, but I like my
Actually,
M7.
most of those ones, the embroidery unit is an optional unit.
Yeah.
Like that one that you were looking at that had, that was pretty much, it wasn't top of the line. Top of the line,
the Sikorsky
800
crystal one?
Yeah. Yeah, it was, that the price included the embroidery unit.
Yeah, I knew that with it. But they are nice looking machines. They also sold Brother machines, but I'm sorry if you have a Brother, but I won't touch Brother. I had bad experiences with Brother back when I used to have a scan and cut. Actually, I still have a scan and cut. It's just in a closet somewhere. I never use it. And before I get raked over the coals from this by people who own Brother machines and they're fantastic and they do everything you want, I'll just say to you, I was burned once, not with a sewing machine, but with their scan and cut. And, once you've been burned once, you're a little leery about that kind of thing. But the Berninas look nice. Yeah. But I'm still a Janome person. But their store, there's so much about their store which could be a model for other quilting store places. One, it is so clean. So very clean. You walk in there and you want to take off your shoes. It's so well laid out. It's not a huge store, but it's just...
It feels big because it's
it
has a loft area in the top, and it's which is really their business office, and it makes it feel airy.
Yeah. But it's nicely laid out, very organized. And you'll see it in the video, they basically have centers. So sewing machines here in this area, wide backs here, regular fabric here, AccuQuilt here, glide threads for long arming here. And they took us to the back where they have 3 long arm machines there. They're Gamels, and they have a long arm service. They have a lady on staff who does long arming for people. I asked them in the video too how much they charge for long arming, and it's 3 cents an inch, which I think that's about average price, whatever. That's the other thing too. They don't try to gouge you on their prices and things like that. And if you buy a sewing machine there, they can service it right there on the premises.
And one thing we found out, which was which I didn't know, was that Bernina has was a distribution or like a factory, or
Factory.
whatever, or not really factory. I
Well,
think
distribution center or
their
whatever. I guess.
center or whatever uh, is actually located in Whippy, which is a town right next
Right
to
next
us.
door to us. So we
Yeah.
did not know that.
And they will actually, if they have a problem with the machine that they can't fix, they will send it to the
Yeah.
place in Whippy to get repaired. So
And they're a dealer for Gamel long arms. Now, Gamel long arms are very expensive machines. Personally, I've never used a Gamel, so I wouldn't know. But I don't like the way they look. They're very industrial looking. But,
yeah.
you know,
Yours is kind of industrial.
I guess, well, all long arms are a bit industrial looking, I suppose. I guess. But anyways, they're trained on how to fix them, and I guess if you order one from them, they come to your house and set it all up. Which that would be nice. Actually, Tracy would have done the same with it for us.
Yeah, I know. She could have come and helped us out, but we got it sort of during still COVID.
Yeah.
And we're kind of mechanical, so it wasn't that hard to
You're
set
kind
up.
of mechanical. I'm not really.
It wasn't that difficult to set
No.
up.
So yeah, it wasn't that difficult.
If you can put IKEA together, you can put that.
Yeah, true. Yeah, that's right. But yeah, you'll see. When you see the video, I think you'll be really quite impressed with them.
Cheryl has a Gamel.
Okay, Cheryl has a Gamel. Okay. Yeah, I've never used one. I've seen them.
Actually, it's kind of a weird name. But anyway.
What?
Nothing.
Gamel?
Yeah.
Maybe it's a combination of two words.
Oh, yeah.
Like mill and something
Yeah.
else. I don't know. Rebecca says, soon you'll be drink the Kool-Aid. Yeah. But
We'll see.
You've
got expensive
I have expensive
machines,
Janome machines, yeah, and they're working fine. No complaints whatsoever with them. When I was hearing about like how Bernina handles customer service and things like that, as a company, like quite frankly, I'm not impressed with how Janome handles customer service, because what they do is they throw it all back on the dealer. Everything that Janome tells you says always, see your dealer. See your dealer. Now, I'm lucky. I have a great dealer. But other people aren't so lucky. I know lots of people have written comments on the Idiot Quilter on some of the episodes saying that, their dealer tells them all the time, the one thing that comes out of their mouth is, oh, user error. It's your fault. You did it. It's not the machine. It's you. And give them absolutely no after-service help with it. I don't have that problem at all. Shirley is excellent with it. But when we were talking about the Bernina service, it sounds like the company itself is very service oriented. I don't think Janome is. I really don't with that. It's the one thing I have against Janome. Oh, hi, Debt-Free Quilter. Yeah, I've seen some of your videos, and Sean sent you over. Great. Randy says, how big is your long arm frame? I have a 10-foot. Walter still thinks I should have got the 12 foot.
we could have gotten the 12-foot for the same price as the 10-foot. But Steve decided he didn't want anything bigger than 10.
Well, I figured we couldn't get it in.
Sure we had. We had lots of room there.
Yeah, and to get to your workbench, you'd be going like...
No, it wouldn't have been that bad. 14-foot one would have been that bad, but not 12-foot. You could have gotten a 14-foot for the same price, too.
Just read my lips and bite me. All right, whatever. You don't use it anyway, so
No, I don't.
what does it matter?
Okay.
It's doing just fine for me.
Okay.
As my mother used to say, it's just enough.
I'll tell you it's not enough.
Oh, screw off. Whatever. Yeah, 12 foot's great for big quilts. I mean, if you're going to do a king, I can't do a king on it, but I don't make king size quilts. And if I ever did make a king size quilt, I could go down to Tracy's Twirls and Swirls, throw it on one of her machines, and she's told me that, and I could quilt it there. So, I'd have to pay her rate probably with it. I mean, it's not going to do it for nothing because she's a business, but not a big deal. but I cannot see myself making a king size quilt anytime in the near future for other reasons besides the fact about quilting it. It's just, it's a king size. You know, you're,
Yeah, well, first of all, we don't have a king size bed.
well, no.
Actually, I don't even know anybody I think that has a king size bed. Everybody has queens.
Yeah, I know. And a queen will fit fine on this frame. So on my long arm. So I'm not worried about that at all. Don Denny says, "Hey guys, you cracked me up." Well, you know what happens with being cracked up. You got to get at your poly filler. Just fill in those holes.
Yeah, well, pretty much machines all over the world are made everywhere.
Yeah.
You know, like you can't necessarily, if you buy a Swiss brand or something, it's not going to be made in Switzerland. So, and even cars that are that used to be Japanese are no longer made in Japan because it's too expensive for them to make it there.
Yeah, that's true. Well, nothing's made here anymore.
Somebody
really
says they've done kings on their 10-foot frame, but it's not easy.
No, I wouldn't imagine. Well, okay, if you've put a king on a 10-foot frame, you really don't have any extra.
It depends on how big the king is.
Yeah, true. Well, how big is a king?
Ask Charles.
Ask Charles. Yeah, okay. A little humor there, very little. Whatever. I don't know. What about the? Okay, Don says, been listening. And what about the new Cafe Bernina? Yeah, well, they're getting them in at Kawartha Quilting. They talked about that on the interview, and I guess some of the ladies in there that work there are all excited about when it comes in.
Personally, I don't really like them.
No, like, well, I don't know if I've seen one.
I've seen a picture of them. It's got cave fabric on, or, yeah, not fabric, but it's got the pattern on them, and some of them are like, one machine's sort of this pale green color, and it's got cave fabric on it, and I don't know. To me, they're ugly.
Well, I can't see the point of buying a sewing machine simply for the fact that if you needed a new sewing machine and this was available and you liked it, yeah, you get it. But to go out and buy another sewing machine simply because Kay Facet, or like Tula Pink had one in Bernina for a while too. Like, I'm not into decor sewing machines, you know. Some people, I guess, are. I don't know. Paula says, or Dawn says, no, wait. Tamela says, hello, Tamela. I've done kings on my 12-foot. It fit fine. Did you? Well, I guess the kings are varied in.
It's a 12-foot though.
I thought mine. Oh no, yeah, mine's only a 10-foot. Yeah.
So that's the Bernina, the cave one.
Well,
they have a white one too.
Yeah, well, I'm not interested. Yeah, show it up to the camera there. I don't know how the colors are translating on that.
It's sort of a pale green. There's also a white one that you can get.
I mean, if I was going to buy a new sewing machine, and that's also doesn't have much of a throat on it. Like, it's basically an entry-level sewing machine that they're selling there, I think. Because it doesn't look like, it's got a little bit on it, but nothing much. So, yeah. It's pretty, but yeah, not interested. Paula says, Tamela says, no, Mahzilla says, I agree, Stephen. Janome service, not all that. Still love my Janomes, though. Yeah, I do, too. Tamela says, I believe the largest I've done on my 12-foot is 108 inches. And Paula says, 100 by 100 is the size I call king. Oh, 100 by 110, size I call king. Yeah.
That's the other one that's Bernina.
Yeah, well, they're pretty. They're pretty, but I wouldn't run out to buy one right now.
No.
I don't know. Barb says, just slap a sticker on it.
Yeah, I know. You can make your own.
Yeah.
Scan some fabric, make it into a sticker, and slap a sticker.
Yeah. Am says, you really drank the Kool-Aid defending Bernina. Well, I wasn't defending it. I just know that anybody that has a Bernina absolutely loves it. It's like a cult. And so I don't know. I've never had my hands on one. See them? Never touched one. I'm afraid to. I know their feet are very expensive in comparison to like Janome and that, because of the way their feet fit on it, which I don't think is a bad system, because it's kind of like the AccuFeed system on
Yeah,
the
but that's
Janome.
only if you get into the higher models.
Well, I wouldn't be dealing with the lower models.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. But if I needed a machine to travel, if I didn't have my Skyline S7 Janome for going to classes, I would consider buying a Bernina at that for that level. But I don't need one.
Yeah, same with me. It's like I've got the 6700 and I'm used to using it. And if I were to get a Bernina, then which one do I use? Right? The
Well,
only
yeah.
thing I do like about them is they've got very big free arms on them for if you're doing clothing. But I don't have a free arm on my machine, but it doesn't really stop me from doing clothing. So,
Yeah. And Rebecca says, I think the Cafe Bernina has special embroidery stitches programmed on it, and the Tula one had special embroidery.
yeah,
That's
apparently
true.
that's true. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. If money wasn't an issue, Paula says, oh, the things we'd have. Yeah, I know. Lots of toys. Lots of toys. But anyways, I think you'll enjoy the interview. It was really good. Zach kind of said he was a little nervous about it at the beginning, but he didn't seem nervous.
Yeah, he apparently doesn't like being in front of the camera.
Hmm.
So he was pretty good. Once I think he was a little bit shy at first, but then once he got going, he was okay.
Yeah, it's fine. It was a good interview. It was. I really think it turned out well with that, so I think you'll enjoy it. Tamela says, I just got a Juki industrial machine straight stitch. I'm having a hard time learning not to let it unthread and thread breaking, making me crazy. Yeah. Nancy has the 6600 Janome. Love it. That's a precursor
Yeah, it's
to the 6700, wasn't it?
6700. Actually, I looked at the manual for the 6600, and it's pretty much the same as the
Oh, yeah.
6700. The machine just looks slightly different.
Well, the 6700 was my first real machine, and it was the one recommended to me by Shirley at the time for quilting and everything like that. And it's been a workhorse because Walter uses it all the time now.
And actually, what I like
Never had
about
a
it,
problem
it
with it.
has a really deep throat.
Mhm.
It's has an 11-inch or 10-inch. I think it's either 10 or 11-inch throat past between the needle and.
I think it's 11 and a half. I think that one's 11 and
okay.
a half, I think.
But it is nice when you're sewing a bulky object or something like that. It's nice to have that extra space.
Well, Shirley also said at Ultimate Sewing when I bought it, she says this is as close as you can get to an industrial machine as a domestic machine.
Yeah.
She said this sucker is a workhorse. It will sew through almost anything. And she said because of the wide throat on it, it's great for quilting. So, and it was. It was a great machine. I love that machine. Never had a moment's problem with it. But Walter has it now. And I've heard good things about Jukis too, but you don't see a lot of them here in Canada, the Jukis, especially in Ontario.
You don't see them at dealers very much
No.
here. You can get them. It's just you have to look around a bit to find one.
Yeah, you have to really hunt for it. But anyways, they're machines. Everybody loves their machines. Baby Lock too is a machine that you can't really get readily here.
It's not as popular here, so you
Yeah.
don't see them as much. And same with the exception of Kawartha Quilting, they carry some brother machines.
Yeah.
They don't carry Baby Lock, but they carry brother machines, which is also one that you don't see too much.
No.
Too many dealers in our area that carry brother.
Now, the most popular ones in our area are either Janome or Bernina.
Yeah.
Eddie says sewing machines are like cell phones now. A new upgraded model comes out every year. Yep, that's true. And speaking of new toys and cell phones, we got the iPhone 14 Pro. We've upgraded from the 10s. That's how long we've had our phones.
Yeah, we had the 10s before, and I kind of wanted an upgraded camera, and so
we drank that Kool-Aid too, and where's my bloody cursor? Come on.
I see it down here.
Yeah, I know. It crawls all over on this Mac. All right. Where is the cursor? I want to...
There, it's there.
Okay, there it is. Okay, so I made a little video that I'm going to show you of our unboxing of our phones because they just came on Friday. So let me switch some things over here and... Oh, come on, cursor. The angle I'm sitting at. I don't want to do that. This is a pain. Sometimes the Mac can be a real pain.
I think it's the operator.
Oh, be quiet.
Gosh, good shot of my head.
Yep, it is. And it's bald. Guess what we got today delivered? Walter and I both got our new iPhone 14 Pros. We're doing an unboxing. Okay, Walter, unbox. Ooh. Ooh. I had to figure out how to get into the box.
Yeah. Tabs at the bottom. They don't put cellophane on them anymore.
Tabs for easy entry. Ooh. And Walter got the purple one. Don't know what purple. Oh yeah, there it is. You can see the purple color to it. And all the cameras on the back.
I'm not taking the front off yet because I want to put the cover, what do you call it?
The glass protector
on it. And I want to do it before I get dust on it.
Oh, okay, that's probably a good idea. I gotta get
See all the dust on my
but anyways.
Ooh. Okay, now it's time for Steve to open it. Ooh.
Tabs. I got the silver one.
Wow.
Ooh, shiny, shiny. Okay, you'll see the rest of it after we get our covers put on. So yeah, we got our new phones, and actually I used the new phone to do the interview with at Kawartha, so it was kind of its virgin run on that. And I'll say one thing, it does take a nice video. The quality is very good and the sound was excellent. I was prepared to use my little microphones that you wear and that clip into the bottom of the phone. They're the ones I used for the London Fabric Hall videos, which worked okay. But then when I compared to the quality of the sound with those and the quality from the microphone built into the iPhone 14, the iPhone 14 was better. So less stuff to plug in. So that's how I did the whole video.
Somebody, Kathy Patterson, said the pros seemed a little big for my hand. The ones we got were the 6.1 size. They're the smaller of the two versions, not the bigger one. The bigger one's a little bit too big for my pocket. So I just stuck it with the 6.1.
Well, if you could put the big one in your pocket, then people could say to you, "Hi, are you happy to see me, or is that just something an iPhone in your pocket?"
The other ones that they have, like the 13s, are all the same size. The 13s were 6.1 as well, unless you got the small one, which was the 5.4. So the pros are the same. Right now, the pros and the non-pros are the same sizes.
Yeah, so, but they are nice, but we were overdue for new phones.
Well, my battery was failing on my other phone.
Well, so was mine.
And I mean, you can go to Apple and they'll replace your battery for a nominal fee. But I kind of wanted something new.
Yeah, well, we'd known about this for a while, that we were going to get new phones.
So what we usually do is, what we did anyway, is we buy the phones outright from Apple. And so you pay the full price. And then you pay the full price, and then we go on a pay-as-you-go plan.
Yeah.
For a phone, so I don't have to pay as much for a month.
I mean, the initial shell out is a lot, like over $2,000 for those phones. But we're not trapped into a contract kind of a thing, and you end up paying more for the phone in the long run. And if you want to say upgrade the phone. Well, sometimes they have deals on that, but they usually want you to extend your plan with them. And no, I don't want to be doing that.
Yeah, I know the ones that we got were we bought the phone plus we bought the Apple Care with it as well, which is expensive. And then of course we have to pay tax on it.
Yeah.
And
Free shipping though.
and we also got the ones that are have a higher memory in them, so that costs more too.
Yeah, we got 256K gig. Sorry, old language, old days, with that. So yeah, but anyways, yep, they're very nice, and we both got cases, of course, for them. Walter got the clear case. Show your case. Pull out your phone.
Because I got the purple one, I got the clear case, so that's my purple one.
And I got this case.
It's actually a really nice purple.
I got the colored case for mine. And yesterday, when we went up to Kawartha Quilting, I didn't have my case yet when we left here. And these suckers are slippery without a case on them. And because they're a little bigger, like we were saying, you know, getting your hand around them, because we don't have big hands, they kind of, you're afraid you're going to drop it, right? Even though we have Apple Care, and they're supposed to be able to drop them, but you never know about that, right? It's supposed to be fairly tough. I didn't really want to use it. So I took my old phone with me along with the new phone to do the recording. But we decided then, Walter already had a case for his. His had come earlier. So he was the cameraman, so he used his phone for the videoing of it all. So, and then when we got home, my case had arrived. Actually, we were going off to the liquor store on the way home, and our ring went off, and of course it's hooked into our phone, so I could check, and there was the guy standing on the doorstep because he needed a signature, because anything that comes from Apple needs a signature. You got to be home for it. And I thought, crap. And then Walter says, well, why don't you talk to him? Use the speaker on it because the ring has that. I thought, sure. So the guy was moving away from the door, and so I turned on the speaker and it says, hello, hello. And he turned right back up and I says, hi. And I told him who I was, and I said, so you're delivering this parcel for me that needs a signature. I said, can you just, because they don't really take a signature, they just verify your name and they press something into a little electronic thing that they're carrying with them. And he said, yeah, I can just leave it. He says, that's fine. He says, I just need to verify your name. And I told him, and he said, fine. He says, I'll put it here between your doors. And yeah, so that was good, because otherwise they would reschedule for the next day to deliver it once, maybe, or they might hold it at their depot, which is a ways from us. Like, it's not in the same town as us. It's about an hour away or so. We'd have to drive all the way there to get the stupid thing. So that worked out okay.
Don, it sounds a lot worse for us in Canada for price, because the prices here are a lot higher than they are in the United States. The base model for the iPhone that we bought is $9.99 in the US. It's $13.99 in Canada.
Welcome to Canada.
So yeah, ours sounds really really high, but that's because our prices are higher. And then on top of that, we get to pay 13% tax on top of that.
Mm-hmm. What we call HST. Yeah. Kathy says, hope you got the charger. Mine didn't come with one. Had to buy it. Well, it came with a cable that you could plug in to charge it. But the MagSafe charger, that we had to buy extra if you wanted one of those. You know, it's the magnetic thing that clamps onto the back. And so we did.
I mean, we had ones that you could lay your phone on and charge too. So
yeah, we already had those, but they weren't MagSafe. They were a third party.
Yeah, and company. Actually the Apple Care that we bought with it, the insurance, if you drop it, they will replace it.
They will replace it.
Yeah, you still have to pay a replacement fee, but
and actually, although the Apple Care is like $249 before tax for, is that 2 years?
For 2 years, yeah.
2 years. You know, it might make you think, oh yeah, one of those warranty things. But you want to know something? On my old iPhone, my 10, it was getting really hot to the point where you feel it in your pocket and it was like burning your leg through your pants, kind of a thing. So we went to an Apple store. This is a few years ago now. and it was under Apple Care at the time. I hadn't had it very long, and I told them this. They went, "Uh-huh." I said, "I think my phone's pulling a Samsung, poof, kind of a deal." And they said, "Yeah, we do have a little problem with some of the phones with the batteries on them doing that." I said, "No problem. We'll look after you." They went into the back of the store, came out, handed me a brand new phone, transferred all of my data and everything from my old phone right onto that while I waited. No problem, very efficient, and off we went. So I figured that the care plan
I
right there,
think it was covered even though
well, probably under the warranty too.
yeah.
But I have to say, Apple is very slick in their customer service and in their organization. They just everything is works like clockwork with Apple.
Yeah, because when we ordered the phone, and it said that it would be delivered on the Friday, and it was delivered on the Friday, which is the first day the phones came out. So
Yeah. I'm just looking up here. Drop my days. Well, good charge. Yeah. Don says, "Well, I thought my Samsung Galaxy 21s was expensive. I did like you bought it outright and pay for it by the month." Yeah.
yeah, actually,
Pay by
Apple
the
had
month.
an option that you could pay by the month for 24 months, and they wouldn't charge you any interest.
Yeah.
But I
I
just like getting it over
I don't
with.
like buying stuff on time with it. That's just me. Give Dancy says, "Give dropped my iPhone so many times. I'm happy that I have the face protector." Oh, okay. Yeah. We got the face protectors too. We got the what they call glass
Yeah.
ones. I don't think they're actually glass. They're plastic, but
No, actually, they're glass.
are they actually
Yeah,
glass? Oh,
very thin glass.
oh, I see. Debt free says, "I prefer to buy my phones outright as well." Yeah. Um, Contracts drive me nuts. Yeah, I don't want to be tied into a contract. Um, and then Kat says, "I totally submerged mine by dropping it in a puddle. The waterproof resistant really worked. I was so scared." Well, you see, I took my iPhone 6 when I had one of those. I decided to wash it in the washing machine. That wasn't good because I'd left it in my pocket and forgot, and the pants were in the washing machine, and so it kind of got
And that was
bashed.
before they were
Yeah.
waterproof.
Yeah. You only want to do that once. Kathy says, "My case is an OtterBox, I think." Yeah, mine's an OtterBox. Too.
Mine's just an Apple one.
Yeah. I thought you got a Vulcan.
No, that's the cover of the.
Oh.
The case was an Apple one.
Yeah. Oh, Andy's here. Hi, Andy. Hi,
Yeah,
Faith.
Andy buys a cheaper phone. She doesn't want to have a heart attack. If she drops it, lose it. I understand you,
Yeah.
Andy, because for many years until I started buying the iPhones, I always had a cheap phone.
Yeah. Yeah.
And my cheap phone didn't take any pictures or anything.
But just like Bernina's, if you drink the Kool-Aid on the iPhone, then
Yeah,
you can't
well,
live
this is
without
my
it.
third one. I had a 6 before the 10, and then the 10, and now I've got the 14.
I mean, there's so much more than just the phone now. I mean, actually, I don't use the phone feature on it all that much. It's everything else, the video and the storage and text and the camera and all that stuff, that kind of thing, the internet, all of that. It is a mini computer
It
in your
has
pocket.
what do you call it? When we were driving,
Yeah, the GPS.
GPS and
With it now. Yeah, we have a Garmin
GPS,
in the
but I
car. We
never
don't
use
use
it because half the time I can't find the address for
No.
on the Garmin. Half the time you punch in the address and it can't seem to find it, but on the Apple, because you can look up an address on Google, it just you can.
Yeah. Well, yeah, like when we're going to the quilt stores in London, I didn't need the address. I just put the name of the store in, and it would find it for me. And away we go. And I guess this new phone, that was at that point we had the 10s. On the new one, what you said, there's 2 GPSs in it.
Yeah, on the new Apple 14 Pro, so they normally used only one satellite or link, or actually I think they used the cell phone towers to navigate. And now what they do is they use 2 locations to navigate so that you get a more accurate navigation.
Yeah, so, it is a computer. I mean, it's actually more sophisticated than bottom of the line computers are. Who knew?
Yeah, when Steve's got really hot, the phone case started falling away
Yeah.
from the edges as well.
And that was another reason I needed well, that was a while ago. They fixed that problem up. But actually, my old case was deteriorating on my 10.
Yeah, like people don't really seem to call and leave a message anymore. They all they'll text you instead, right?
Yeah.
So
let's see, just catch up here on what people saying. Faith says Gamble was started by Ken Gamble. My first long arm, not computerized. Oh, okay. So that's where the name comes from. It's an actual name. Marlene says that she's cousins with you. Hers is purple with a clear case too. Well, I'd like to say great minds think alike, but
yeah, I was iffy about the purple, but it's a really nice purple. It's not very purple looking. It's kind of a tinge to it.
Yeah, it's got a tinge. I thought of that, but I thought I'd just stick to the silver with it. And Marlene says, I like having the Apple Watch so you can ping your phone to locate it. Oh, that's the other thing, our Apple Watches. I mean, we held out for a while on these.
Actually, Steve didn't really want to get one.
I just thought, what am I going to use?
Last year, I said, well, I kind of want one, so I got one. And I bought one for his birthday.
He bought one for me for my birthday.
And actually, it's been nice to have them. So
I can't live without my iWatch now. The reason I didn't want one in the first place is because I'd read that you had to have your phone with you for most, or in the vicinity, to really use the features that
well. You can get ones that have.
I know you can, but they're more expensive too. But I always have my phone with me. So, and I love my iWatch. And just recently, okay, you'll laugh at me, those of you that have an iWatch. Walter does all the time, laugh at me. I didn't realize I could answer my phone with my iWatch and hear what the person is saying and talk to them. I feel like Dick Tracy. Hello, Mumbles. That's probably dating me. But I love that feature because I can't hear on an iPhone. Now, I haven't tried it on this one yet. See,
that's because you're like your mother. You hold it to your cheek.
Hello, hello, hello. No, I know where it is. I know where my ear is. I know that the ear hole's up here, but I like the speaker part of it. Of course, if you're out in public, that's maybe not so good. But no one calls me anyways, except people. Yeah, actually, the only phone calls I get, if it's not Walter, is scammers. So I suppose. But I really like the iWatch. I love it. Absolutely love it. Did I tell you I love it? I love it. Yeah. And I guess that's why I bought a Mac book as well. I drank that Kool-Aid too. There's a lot of Kool-Aid out there. Mm-hmm. Yeah, the microcomputer aspect of the phone. But is it a microcomputer? It's pretty much a full-fledged computer.
Yeah, it's basically the same as your iPad or something like that.
And I love my iPad too. So all the time.
It is actually a fairly powerful computer. So
yeah, it is. Pam says, I like my iPhone too. When you think how many times you pick it up every day, might as well have the best. And yeah, true, Pamela. Rebecca says the iPhone is more like a computer than an actual phone. Yeah, I hardly voice call anyone anymore. Yeah, I text. I'd rather text with them. Yeah. Yep, we do, Lucy. Gail says, hi Gail, I like my iPhone. I'm not brave enough to get the newest one yet. Yeah.
Well, you do whatever works for you. That's basically it. I mean, I don't upgrade every year, so no. This one will have to last me for
this has to last for a while. Yeah, unless they come out with one that like basically does holographs or something, like the holodeck on a Star Trek. I'm not going to update it too soon. Now, Nancy says, do you have to upgrade an iWatch?
Well, not necessarily. Ours is 2 models below what the current one is.
Yeah.
The newer ones have newer features on them, but they still sell a lot of the older models still because they don't have as many features on them. And so you don't really need to.
It depends on what you want to use it for.
Yeah, it depends. If you want a new feature on it that the newer ones have, then yeah, you would have to upgrade. Apple will your products from Apple are usually good for quite some time before you'd have to upgrade them.
Yeah.
And they usually work with each other. Eventually, They may not update them anymore, but that will take quite a long time to do that. Somebody told me that with the Macs, you're good for upgrades for 10 years
Oh yeah.
on them. So,
Well,
and
by then,
yeah, I know.
you
So,
probably want a new one. Um, oh, Lucy says mini computer as in small size, not function. Oh, okay, I get it. Yeah. Um, and then Gail loves her iWatch because she always put my phone somewhere and I use my watch to locate it. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So there's a difference between the way females use their phones and the way males do, because we put them in our pockets.
yeah, I know.
And just the way clothing,
Because
men's
the
clothing
women
differs
probably usually put them in
in
their
purse
purse or something like that. Right.
Yeah, and so that's why we didn't get
The larger
larger
size.
one, because it's too big to put into your pocket really comfortably, and then I would lose it.
Yeah, Andy, eventually I think we won't have phones. There will be some other
Yeah.
thing that we have that.
Push your navel. Hello. Hello. You're a little bit blurry. Oh, just a minute. Let me get the fuzz out. Okay, that's better. And hubby is hearing impaired. He has a hard time hearing the phone. I always have to repeat for him. Yeah,
There's
a accessibility thing.
Accessibility in there that will make it louder if you can't hear.
Barb says her phone goes in her bra. She doesn't have it in her purse. Okay, might be too much information there, Barb. Really?
That's assuming you have a bra big enough to hold it.
Yeah. Well, I wasn't going to say that, but Walter did. So there you go. Hi, honey. What are you packing in there? On this side I have my iPhone and this side I have my MacBook. Okay. What buttons do we put? Never mind. Now I'm getting just silly. So anyways, yeah, new toys. We always love our new toys and everything like that. So, retreat plans. I am madly working at the retreat, and about the end of next week, I'm going to put out a special video talking all about the registration process for the retreat, which is really easy because it basically comes down to send me an email with your name and you're on the list. But I am going to put out a video. I was just waiting to hear from my presenters. I've heard from 2 out of the 3 of them. Chris O'Neill from Sew the Distance has sent me what she's going to be doing. She's going to be looking at antique quilts and some other interesting things about that. Lynn Reinhard has sent me what she's going to talk about, and she's going to talk about appraisal process of quilts, which I think will be interesting. And I'm just waiting to hear from Adam to what he is going to do, so then I can put my agenda together. But I will be putting out, for those of you on the mailing list, you will get an email that gives you all the details about everything and how to register. If you're not on the mailing list, not a problem. I will have that document. I will create a Google Drive link to the document. It'll be in the show notes, and you can just click on that and read everything there. But if you want to be on the mailing list, just send me an email. Email address is in the show notes for this and all my videos, and I'll be happy to put you on the mailing list. I have 3 mailing lists, as you know: Craft and Chat, Pop-Up Sew Day, and the retreat. So you can be on any 1 or 2 or all 3 of those. Just tell me if you want to be on them all or which one you want to be on, and I will gladly add you to that. So that's coming up, and the date is October the 22nd. But once I open up registration, then you can go to town on that, and that reserves your spot. And remember, it's absolutely free. So no catch here or anything like that. So that's coming up. Oh, Nancy has to run. Okay, see you later, Nancy. Bye-bye. Lucy says, I have an iPhone that's the same size as a 6, but it's more powerful. It's more powerful and 11. Bras are good. Okay. Barb says, now my face is red. Okay. Love the colored lights changing behind your head. Yes, they're my little, that's over by my 3D print mill. Hubby chucks his phone in my purse. Okay. Well, I'd have to chuck it in Walter's purse, but he already has too many lipsticks and a compact in there that takes it all up, so it won't fit. Yeah. So anyways, tomorrow is the big day, the funeral of the official state funeral for the Queen, of course. And what's kind of bothering me right now is the disrespect that some groups are showing for the Queen. Um, our own government has not declared a national holiday. Well, they've declared a federal holiday, meaning that federal employees get tomorrow off for the Queen's funeral. So that means things like the post office won't be delivering mail, and federal government employees have the day off. But Trudeau has left all the provinces to make the decision how they're going to handle it. And in our province, they're doing nothing. They're
having a minute of silence.
They're having a minute of silence. I'm not even sure if they're going for the full 96 that most places are doing, like the full 96 seconds with it. But the schools are open. Businesses are open. LCBO is open, which is the provincial place where we get our booze and all that kind of stuff. Nothing is basically closed with it.
Your class is going.
There's classes are going. Yeah. Yeah, my class is going and everything. Now, okay, there's two ways to look at this, right? First way is, even if they declared a provincial-wide holiday for it, actually, I think they have in the eastern provinces. Yeah. I don't know what
the big thing was that a lot of the businesses were all up in arms because they would lose out on all kinds of money for one day.
But that doesn't float. Because if everything is closed, everything is closed. What about Christmas Day? You know, like that kind of thing. But either way, would people actually use the day in the way to honor the Queen? No. Nobody's going to do that. It's like they got rid of Remembrance Day as far as closing down anything except federal businesses. Schools are open. They do their little Remembrance Day services, but when I was a kid, schools were closed on Remembrance Day. Of course, mind you, it was a day off from school. Like, were we going off to the cenotaph? No. What are people going to do if they get the day off for the Queen's funeral? I mean, that's over in England kind of a thing.
Yeah.
So I could see, so maybe that's not so bad. But it's the disrespect that it suggests. I mean, they have politicized, some groups have politicized the Queen's funeral. For example, there was somebody who I think is in our House of Commons, who is an Indigenous chief. What are you doing?
It's one of those little flies.
We gotta get fumigated. Who would not say the oath to the new king. Now, okay, I get it. You know, the monarchy really doesn't have any kind of effect on our country in terms of legislation or the laws that are passed. I mean, yeah, it's rubber stamped because, you know, we're still part of the Commonwealth and all that. We have a governor general, we have lieutenant governor generals in every province that are supposed to be the royalty, the king's now, used to be the Queen's representative, but it's a rubber stamp job that they get a big salary for and do diddly squat. So, yeah. But the chief says, because of the whole colonial thing that we have a history of, you know, England conquered us, you know, that kind of stuff and everything. And then the whole thing with residential schools and all that kind of stuff, which was not done by the Queen. Okay. That was done by our own government and the Catholic Church, you know, basically. But he's not taking the oath. Okay. I think the oath is kind of stupid anyways, but you know, there's a whole bunch in Quebec that they are not going to do the oath to the Queen either. They didn't stay for the time in the House of Commons for when they were doing something to honor the Queen and the whole bit. Well, Quebec's always been special in this country, and they're special because of history. The French actually came to Canada first, not the English. But the English came over, had a war with the French, took over Canada. But the English were smart enough to realize that they didn't have the resources to be able to take complete control of the country and that the French were going to be a threat to them. And I'm talking in the 1700s, okay? So they said, okay, you guys can do what you've always done. You can sort of govern yourselves in the province of Quebec. Well, it wasn't the province of Quebec at the time. It was Lower Canada, lower
Yeah, I
Canada.
can't remember. Upper
Yeah,
Canada or
lower.
Lower
We're
Canada.
Upper Canada. They were Lower Canada, and the whole bit. And you can keep your religion in the whole bit, and that. And so now that's why, and your language and your culture basically. And so that's why today Canada is a bilingual country. We have two official languages, but Quebec has always been treated special from the other provinces, and it all comes from that time period and things that were written into the laws and what in the time. So they don't want to do anything that has anything to do with the English, which the Queen is part of. Um, well, that's politics. So they're turning around and they're politicizing the Queen's funeral. Even in Britain, they have it politicized because there are certain countries, of course, most of the ones from the Commonwealth, are invited to the official funeral of the Queen, but China's not. Now, yeah, I can understand why they don't want to invite China because China has put on sanctions against the British government and things like that. But why are you politicizing the funeral for this lady? All right, the royalty is one thing, and the monarchy and the whole bit. But let's look at Queen Elizabeth. She was a wonderful human being, for the most part, of everything. She didn't have any real effect on politics in any other parts of the world. She was more a figurehead. She did what she had to do as queen, and she did it for her whole life right up to the end of it. She was classy. She was respectful, well educated. She was a really great role model, I think, for all people. So, is it going to kill us to honor her? Because for who she was, not for the rank she had, not for her connection to the monarchy, but just for the great lady that she was. Why does it have to be politicized for that kind of thing? And then you've got the media going on about Charles, okay? Charles III, okay? And yes, he's not his mother. Well, now they're comparing him. And they're saying, well, he's got big shoes to fill and everything like that. Charles is not his mother. Charles is different. We don't know what kind of king he's going to make. And does it matter? Does it really matter? It's not like he can yell over at us and go, off with their heads, kind of thing. So why are people getting so uptight about it? And there's been protests. They've been quelled very quickly in Britain, but as the cortege of the Queen's, when they were moving her casket to Buckingham Palace and then to Winchester as well, there were political groups out there protesting it. Well, you're protesting a dead lady. Why? What did she do to you? Kind of a thing. So I think it's nuts. I think it's disrespectful. If you want to protest the whole role of the royalty in our official government lives, do you have to do it during the Queen's funeral? Like, how's that going to be effective? And then here's a good one. The media gets on board. And the media, they have to find every little turn, every little twist, every little spin that they can. So I was watching the other day. Well, I don't really watch it. I hadn't turned the TV off yet after we saw the afternoon news. On a Ontario channel, they had these women who get on there and try to be like the Canadian version of The View. A whole bunch of women getting to there going,
They call it the social or something.
They call it the social, just all the time. Bunch of bimbos, actually, quite frankly. They're going on about, oh, well, there was a picture of Harry and Meghan in, walking along behind in the funeral parade, whatever you want to call it.
Procession.
Procession, and they were holding hands. Now, of course, they compared that to William and Kate. William and Kate were looking very stately. They were not touching each other and the whole bit. And they were saying, people were getting upset with that. Other people thought, well, Harry was very close to his grandmother, and she's just comforting him in the whole bit. I guess it depends on whether or not you like Meghan with it. But who cares? Is it going to change the price of rice in China? Okay, Harry has never done anything that's stately. You know, naked in Las Vegas, marries a showgirl, well, Meghan, or whatever, gets rid of his royal duties, moves to California. Holding his wife's hand, walking down the street, is that going to be a make or break situation? I don't think so. Why are people wasting their time on this kind of stuff? Losing their focus. The important part is change in history. Queen's been on the throne for 70 years. Most of us have never known anything different. So it's going to take some time to get used to saying the king. What the king will do is to be seen, but really, whatever the king does has very little bearing on how the rest of the world operates. So I don't get it. I just don't get it. People saying anything on this? Andy says, what do you think of Charles III? Well, he's a tree hugger. He's big into the environment, which is fine. That's fine. I don't have a problem with that. How long will he last on the throne? Don't know. I'd be more excited to see William get on the throne because I think William is a class act. You know, and his wife Kate, you know, I think they would make a splendid, if anybody's going to bring the royalty back to a level of respect, I think it would be those two. I don't think Charles will. But I don't know. I don't really have an opinion. I don't care. The king doesn't affect me at all. I think we should cut our ties with the royalty in this country only because of cost-saving measures. Like I said, governor generals, lieutenant governor generals, they cost big bucks. We don't need them. But, you know, it's tradition and it's written into something and it's going to take, you know, years to unwrite it or who knows what with that. Barb says, not a holiday in Alberta. No. Lucy says, we have a family day planned here in the UK. My daughter in BC, Vancouver, has a bank holiday. Yep. Kat says, that's a shame. I'm saddened by her loss. Yeah, I think many people are, you know. But it's because, it wasn't because she was the queen. It's because as queen, what she represented, how she conducted herself, her life, how she did that. Lucy says, we're having a roast dinner in Elizabeth's honor. She's on your postage stamps.
On some of them.
Some, yeah, some. She's on her money.
She's on some of our money.
Yeah, that's true. She's on some of our money, not on every denomination of it. And they say it's going to be a while before they switch those ones over to Charles's portrait on it. Don't the people pay them a salary? At one point in time, they did. And that became a point of contention. And I think somehow they changed the financing of that. I think they probably get something in England. I know Lucy can probably tell us that better because I'm not sure. Green Quilt says, yes, PEI has the day off too. PEI is also closed on Remembrance Day. Oh, the Minister of VAC is from PEI. What's VAC? Value added? No. Minister of VAC. I'm not sure what that is. What Minister of VAC is. Kat says, I'm with you on the William Kate assessment. Andy says, some lady that reads asparagus says Charles will abdicate next year. I don't think Charles will abdicate. I think he's wanted to be on the throne for a while and he was just waiting for the old girl to kick off. But, you know, it's kind of like Victoria and Edward. Victoria lasted a long time too, and by the time her son Edward got to the throne, he was an old man too, like Charles. M says, I saw her from the back once at London Fashion Week. She was so tiny. Yeah, she was not a big woman. Hi, Veronica. I think that is so close. Okay, I'm not sure what the reference is there, Marlene. Given the family longevity, Green Quilt says, I'm looking for a bookie to place a bet that Charles III will have a silver jubilee. Yeah, who knows? I mean, Queen Mother lived to be 103. The Queen herself lived to be 96. Prince Philip was 99.
Yeah, it was 99.
Yeah, so yeah. But of course, your father always said, well, yeah, they didn't have any worries, so
They
they
don't
don't
have any
want
money worries, and they
to. Yeah.
don't have to. They don't actually really work.
Oh, Laura says it Veterans Affairs Canada.
They're hard working. There was I forget, one of them was really considered a hard worker, and she did like so only so many hours per week. It was a very small amount.
Yeah. So, and Charles is already 73. Yeah, he's no spring chicken with that. But
That's why my dad always said women live longer
yeah.
because they didn't have any money worries.
Well, but you know, the Queen has had turbulent times within her own family. I mean, you got Randy Andy there and all of his sexual exploits.
Yeah.
You
Apparently he was booed a few times during the procession.
Yeah, well, he is an idiot.
Yeah.
And Horseface Anne. I mean, how old are you, Anne? And she stamps her paw, you know, or hoof, kind of a thing. I don't know, in England, I've heard that Anne is not all that well liked over there. I don't know. Again, Lucy, where are you? You can tell us that or not. Edward, well, Edward's a little fairy, but he got married and a whole bit, but he's definitely been kept in the closet for years. I mean, I don't know why. The royal family from centuries has had, you know, there's always been at least one gay in there as well. So, you know, and Charles, well, I don't know. Charles and Diane, but you know, he was forced to marry Diane. He wanted Camilla from the beginning. And you know, one thing I'll say is I'm glad that eventually it worked out for that. It's too bad that Lady Di had to die because, you know, everybody loved Lady Di, kind of a thing. But, you know, he got Camilla. Diane was cuter, but, you know, whatever.
Veteran Affairs of Canada.
Yeah, we know that already.
Oh, okay.
Veterans Affairs, yeah, other people have been telling us that too. The Queen did pay some tax voluntarily in her latter years. They don't actually cost the country anything. They generate enough wealth themselves. The sums are quite complicated. Yeah. Lucy got bored and didn't finish it. I missed the thread on that one. Edward's wife is very popular. Princess Anne is very popular now. Not everyone loved Diana. Yeah, I guess, you see, we hear things third hand basically over here about the whole thing because, you know, like I said, we don't live there, so we don't know what's really going on. But I just think people need to have some respect for the Queen. She did a lot of good work. She was classy. She was smart. She was funny. She was good. I'm waiting on Christmas Day, though, to hear the King's message. That'll be interesting with it all. So,
isn't Edward's wife Canadian? That's a good question.
Oh, good question, Barb. Don't know. Lucy, can you answer that question? Is Edward's wife a Canadian? I don't know. You don't hear much about that.
No.
You know, at all. Well, because he's fourth in line. Well, not even in fourth in line anymore. He'll never get to the throne because it's going to go to William and everybody else. So, I don't know. But it's interesting to follow it all. But, you know, I think it behooves us in Canada not to at least show some respect for the Queen's funeral.
The Queen became funny after her mother died.
Oh, yeah. Well, I don't know. The Queen Mother lived to 103 because I heard she was well pickled in gin. So that was always the joke. I'll never forget her in that commercial with Paddington. Yeah, I know. The marmalade sandwich in her purse. People have always said,
Lucy wasn't sure. She's Sophie, but...
Oh, she's... Okay, Sophie's British. Okay. Yeah. I don't know if she's called Sophie. Okay, Sophie's British.
Or you're maybe mixing up Perry's wife. She lived in Canada for a while.
Yeah, she did. But that's a story for another day. But, Harry, who cares? You know, he's not even a spare anymore, you know, an heir and a spare, because from William it goes to George. So if things last. But anyways, it'll be interesting. Everybody getting up at 4 a.m. Here in Ontario, it's 4 a.m. in the morning to see the Queen's funeral. I won't be getting up. I'll see it on YouTube. And I don't even know if I'll watch it from then. You know, it's a funeral. So, Philip's ex-wife was Canadian, Anne's son. Philip's ex-wife. Philip who? What am I musing?
Anne's son.
Was Canadian. Anne's son.
Anne must have a son named Philip.
Oh, okay. I'm not sure what her kids are called. Maine is not popular. Yes. Yeah. And apparently she's not popular among the Americans either. I heard on something. So, I love the Queen. I want to look in her jewelry box. Yeah, the crown jewels. Yeah. But anyway, such is life. Well, guys, it's time to go. So thanks for joining us today and everything. And watch for the So Chatty video on Friday when it comes out with the tour of Kawartha Quilting. And watch for announcements about the retreat and all the other good things that happen here every week. So thanks for coming. Have a good week. We'll see you all later. So bye for now. Say goodbye, Walter.
Goodbye.